Hey there, Citizen Paler here, and welcome back. It's time for a quick video, and in this one I'm just going to be showing you guys how to get to Jumptown. I just did a video about trading and the basics of that, and the sad fact of the matter is right now if you're doing trading and you're doing it with anything smaller than a caterpillar, you pretty much need to be running Widow for it to be profitable over any of the other missions. So this is kind of something you need to do. Now, Jumptown, where they sell the Widow, isn't someplace you can just pull up on the star map and say go, and it's not there. You actually have to find the location using orbital markers and some other stuff in order to get around to that. So that's going to be what we're covering right here in this video. Okay, to begin with, you want to find yourself out around Yela at some point. So it's not at some point, you got to go to Yela. A lot of people, they like to start at Grim Hex, and it's a very viable strat since Grim Hex is in the asteroid field around Yela. The other thing is Grim Hex is very close to orbital marker 6, and the way we're going to locate this is we're going to use orbital marker 6 and orbital marker 2. And Jumptown itself is located almost dead on the line that you would draw between orbital marker 6 and orbital marker 2. It's a little bit to the west of it, I would say. This is assuming orbital marker 2 is like the south pole of Yela. It's hard to say. I think 1 would be the north pole, 2 would be the south pole. So it's just west of that line, but it's within a fraction of a degree. General reference here is orbital marker 6, orbital marker 2. They are about 730 kilometers apart from each other, and Jumptown is a little bit closer to orbital marker 6. It's about 310, 320 kilometers from jump marker 6 compared to, what would it be, like 400 almost, somewhere in there, 400, 410 from orbital marker 2. So keep that in mind. So let's start ahead. We're going to approach this from both angles. First, we will come at it from orbital marker 6. So you're going to go ahead, jump to orbital marker 6, turn, align yourself with orbital marker 2, and fly towards orbital marker 2. You can either do this, try to do little micro jumps using your quantum drive. You press B, let it spool up, and right as soon as it goes, you press B again. It's a little difficult because of how short the distance is. By the time you're moving, you're kind of stopping. The other thing you can do is you can just fly towards orbital marker 2 using your afterburners until it's about 400, 380 kilometers from you. And as you get to this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look down towards the ground. And there's several key features you want to look for. First is the large snow patch. So you have all the different textures on the ground and everything, and most of Yela, when you're looking down at it, is kind of this bluish gray. Except for this one, well, areas that are large white areas, but there's one area that's super large. It's kind of a rectangular large white area. If you draw a line from that towards orbital marker 2, as you come off of that, you're going to see a bunch of mountains kind of down in the terrain. And if you look at those mountains closely, you're going to notice that through them there's kind of a zigzag pattern that has a different color to it, where most of it again is that dark bluish gray. There's an area that's a little bit more of a brownish gray. Now, if we draw a line from that white through past the edge, like the right-hand edge of that gray, that brownish gray area, and continue on, you'll see where the mountains start to kind of flatten out into a more of a plain area, right? So we're going white snow, past gray zigzags, the mountains themselves start to taper off, and the moon becomes a little more flat, although it's still pitted with craters. And if we look at these mountains, you'll see there's like 3 fingers of it. There's a finger towards the right-hand side that's a little bit wider, a little more thick. There's a small finger kind of in the middle that sticks out, and then there's another finger a little further to the left. What we're looking for is the furthest out mountain on that middle finger. And once you find it, it's actually pretty easy. You just want to angle down towards it and go straight down towards it. If you're roughly, again, 310 kilometers from orbital marker 6, it's going to be almost right underneath you and a little bit to your right. The real key is identifying these 3 mountain type fingers, the one on the right, the one on the left, and then the main one we're looking for is kind of in the middle. But once you've seen it, it's actually pretty darn easy. And as you turn down and you approach down towards the actual mountain, it's going to kind of form up and everything, and the point you're looking for is a large crater just on the other side, on the back side of the mountain, away from where you're approaching. It's actually part of the mountain. It's like an asteroid or something hit the mountain and put a crater into it, so you're still up somewhat on the mountain, but you're in a crevice on the mountain. It's a little strange. We'll see that as we come on down in here. So that's how you find it from the one side. The other side's the exact same thing. You're just going the other direction. And this is actually the way I tend to approach. That way I can see I'm watching orbital marker 6 as I'm coming towards it. And I know when I get to, starting to get to around 380 meters, not meters, kilometers out, I can start looking for it. And normally by about 350, I can see it. I have the mountain identified and I can just approach down. We're just looking at it the complete opposite way. So the snow area is at the top of the screen. I can see the grayish brown mountain range a little bit easier, the texture change. Follow that down and then into the three fingers. The middle finger, the shortest most one, I'm looking at the southernmost end of that, and I'm going to approach straight down to that, and that is where I can find Jumptown. Some things to keep in mind with Jumptown: it is a relatively hostile zone. It rotates. It really depends on who's on your server, obviously, with that. There's a regular flow of people just looking to go out. They have 60,000 credits. They want to go out. They want to turn that 60,000 into 100,000 and so on. And they're not looking for any trouble. They'll get there. They'll do their thing. But there's other people that will absolutely just gank you. That's their gameplay right now, and it's very fun to do. They'll go out there and they'll mess with people coming and going, try to get ransoms from them and stuff. So just keep all that in mind. This is not entirely a friendly area. It's not a bad idea to have a friend go with you if you're going to do this, someone that can stay out and watch the ship and keep an eye out for things going on. But that's pretty much it. The short of it is go to Yela, go to either orbital marker 6 or 2, navigate to roughly the middle between the two of them, and then back towards orbital marker 6, look for the snow patch, look for the different texture in the mountains, the different colors, follow that down to the mountain ranges, and then the middle finger sticking off. Hopefully you found that helpful. Until next time, this has been Power. Thanks for watching.